Well, alright. It's been about a year since I've done any videos for my channel, so I'm going to get back into doing that, and I'm going to start with my 10 favorite albums of all time. Now, for a lot of people, it might be hard to pick your favorite, albums of all time, just 10 records. Uh, for me, it was pretty easy. These albums have impacted me not only as a songwriter, but just as a fan. And they don't change. These are the records that I go back to all the time. So it was easy for me. Uh, Thin Lizzy, Jailbreak. Thin Lizzy is my favorite band ever. I guess that means Jailbreak is my favorite album of all time. Not only does it have the great title track on it, it's got The Boys Are Back in Town, Cowboy Song, Emerald, and Warrior. Uh, this is just a great record. Thin Lizzy at their best, and believe me, Thin Lizzy for me is always at their best. The Atlanta Rhythm section, a rock and roll alternative. The hit So Into You was on here. I dug Georgia Rhythm. There are so many great songs on this record. They're southern rock, but they've got a different sound. I blame this one on my mom. Used to drive her Trans Am. She had the 8-track. Listened to it. I fell in love with this band, and what a great album this is. Loaf, Bat Out of Hell. I don't think there's a better combination than the songwriting of Jim Steinman and the huge vocals of Loaf. The first song I heard off this album was 2 Out of 3 Ain't Bad. I'm like, what the hell is that? That is phenomenal. And I listened to the record and I was blown away. Against the Wind, Bob Seger. A lot of critics said this was Bob Seger selling out. Are you kidding me? This is Bob at his best. A perfect blend of rockers, mid-tempo masterpieces, and ballads. The title track here is great. The entire album, I love it. Doesn't get any better. Rod Stewart, Footloose and Fancy Free. I've loved Rod Stewart. I was a young kid listening to AM radio, Mandolin Wind, Maggie May, You Wear It Well. This album came out and it just solidified my love of Rod Stewart and his music. And this album really captures everything that's great about Rod Stewart. His ability to do cover songs and make them his own. His ability to write great originals, to perform rockers and ballads. This is my favorite Rod Stewart album, and it just doesn't get any better. And I love Rod Stewart. He's got a lot of good stuff. So this is it. This first Boston album, a masterpiece, side 1. More Than a Feeling, Peace of Mind, and Long Time. That's side 1. Flip the record over. There's not a bad song on this album. It's a masterpiece. Unfortunately, I don't think Boston ever reached. For me, the first 3 Boston albums are all you need. Anything after that, but this first one, even the second and third albums, just don't touch this. And this is a masterpiece that will never be repeated. A classic rock staple. The first Mellencamp record I've ever listened to, John Cougar. The hit I Need a Lover with that super long intro. A Little Night Dancing is on here. I learned to play bass to this record. Look, Mellencamp doesn't like his early stuff. I don't know if he hates it, but he definitely doesn't pay much respect to it. He's grown as a songwriter and doesn't think much back on that stuff, and that's fine. But this is a phenomenal album, and just great songs all the way around. Mellencamp particularly doesn't like Nothing Matters and What If It Did, and it's on my list of 10 favorite albums of all time. He called the hits stupid little pop songs. Well, I love these stupid little pop songs. So, sorry, John. I'm digging this record. It's a gem. Basically, what happened, the first album I listened to, as I said, the first Mellencamp record I ever heard was this one, John Cougar. He came out with American Fool, and I thought, wow, this is a great record. Who did this? And when I found out it was John Cougar, I said, I'm going to go out and see what else I can find. And that's when I found Nothing Matters and What If It Did. And great record, man. Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band, Live Bullet. I'm telling you, baby, this is my favorite live album of all time. I know a lot of live albums get studio touch-ups. I bet there's not many on this. This is a raw, energetic live album that captures that moment in history that you can never capture again. This was right after his Beautiful Loser album and right before he broke big with Night Moves. So you're capturing this local legend, really just blowing it away on this album. The track list is great. We'll take a look at that later. Live and Dangerous would have been my favorite live album ever because Thin Lizzy, as I said earlier, is my favorite band in the world. Live Bullet nudges it out just a little bit, but this is a great, great live album. And again, a lot of debate over the amount of studio interference in this album, studio touch-ups. Look, I've heard Thin Lizzy live. They are perfect live, so they sound this good live whether there was studio touch-ups or not. The guitar player Brian Robertson says there were no touch-ups. Some people say there were a few. Some people say the whole thing was done in the studio. Who knows? My second favorite live album of all time. So look at that track list for Jailbreak. The title track, besides the songs I mentioned earlier, Running Back, Romeo and the Lonely Girl, great album. Again here, So Into You, Georgia Rhythm, Neon Nights is awesome. Everybody Gotta Go. Everything on there is great. Bad Out of Hell. There's the track list. Paradise by the Dashboard Lights, Hot Sweaty, all revved up with no place to go, driving. You took the words right out of my mouth, and I can go on and on. All of those tracks, great album. Against the Wind, Her Strut, Grinding, Good For Me, nice ballad, Fire Lake, Shining Brightly, You'll Accompany Me, some nice mid-tempos, and then Horizontal Bop, nice rocker, Betty Lou's Getting Out Tonight, what a great album. Footloose and Fancy Free, Hot Legs, I Was Only Joking, Born Loose, You're In My Heart, phenomenal, You Keep Me Hanging On, and If Loving You Is Wrong, I Don't Want to Be Right, two great covers he does a nice job with. There's that classic Boston, More Than a Feeling, Peace of Mind, Long Time, rock and roll band, Smoking, Hitch a Ride, Something About You, and Let Me Take You Home Tonight. Let Me Take This Album Home Tonight is phenomenal. There's the John Cougar album, I Learned to Play Bass To, A Little Night Dancing, The Great Midwest and Sugar Marie are super, I Need a Lover, and there is Nothing Matters and What If It Did, 2MG Wherever She May Be, what a great song. Tonight, Cry Baby, you gotta listen to the lyrics there yourself. Two big hits, Ain't Even Done with the Night, and This Time. The whole thing, stupid little pop songs or not, John, sorry, I love it. There's Live Bullet. Live Bullet. I'm not even going to talk about that track list. Most of it comes from the Beautiful Loser album. There's some oldies he reaches back for. This is just a phenomenal record. And there is Live and Dangerous. So, that's my 10 favorite records of all time. It really wasn't hard for me to choose. Thanks for tuning in. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell for notifications. Like I said, I'm going to be doing more videos. So, come on back.